Hello guys. That sounded good right though. So you got you didn't want me to, but I said I was gonna show off some of these from my some of my older designs, which basically they were just things I either built in my free time or built for a purpose. I'll try to explain a little bit of the backstory, but I won't go into the hardcore like actual mechanics of them because it'd take way too long. So I'm gonna go simplest to most complex. I personally think this is simple. It's simple in design. It is an automatic chicken farm. So you have chickens in there, okay? In the have chickens right there, right? They sit here. They lay their eggs. When they lay their eggs, they go into the droppers, and then as soon as there's a bunch of eggs in there, I don't know exactly how many, but I think it's like 4 stacks or 6 stacks or something. They already go up to 16 though. Once that's up enough, they all get shot up into this one, and then this breaks the eggs here. Remember, there's a block there. It breaks the eggs It breaks the eggs against this block, and then all the chickens fall down, and the cycle repeats itself. It works pretty simply. It just waits until there's enough eggs in there, and then it turns that off. This clock, which would always be on, runs through and turns everything on. Next simplest, I would say, is this one, which is you have a minecart. You want to empty that minecart into a chest. What do? You build one of these. So I'm just going to take half a stack of this cobblestone. I'm going to launch it off. Okay, maybe I won't launch you off. Let me switch that out. So how this works is it goes over these. It goes over this here. Okay, this is a comparator. It tells this torch to turn off because there's something there, which means that it's coming down. It's really very, very simple. This is all the wiring to it. See, it stops, and then as soon as there's no more blocks coming through, that turns off and it gets launched back away. So it's really very simple in design. You can actually pause the video right there and build it if you wanted to. And then everything else pretty complicated. I did show that off. I'm just gonna go in order now. This here is I built it for an automatic furnace setup in one of my old worlds that got corrupted. But this still works. This is probably the worst one to build. Definitely the worst one to build in general because it's so finicky. Like if this wire went over here instead of right there, it wouldn't work because the signal would be too long. I've tried to make this compact, and I could make it smaller, but if it's smaller, then it doesn't want to cooperate. So you see, you send this through, tosses that right there. Normally that works better. If there's more speed coming through, this works better. See, and then it switches. Like I said, if these minecarts have more speed, it lands. It lands right there. But these minecarts don't have enough speed built up, so let me try this now. Again, probably downhill right into there. That fits very well. This here, you have a chest. You want to empty this chest into a minecart, or for that matter, just put it in a minecart and then send the minecart off automatically. That works out is you have your chest and it comes down into this chest and this hopper. Basically, if there's too much for the hopper, it stays in the chest. Comparator takes a signal off of that, comes over here, sends off the minecart. Okay, while turning this off. Okay, then once it's done, it turns back on. It's the same principle as that, but more drawn out. Because you're not sensing it here, you're sensing it here. So that's that takes it away. This fills it up, and then once it's done, it comes here. This changes this here, so it goes straight through. Ends up over here. This comes in and goes over here. Again, this is a speed thing though. Normally, it actually ends up like right here, like right on the edge. If it had more speed, it'd go right there, up against the side, and it's the same thing. This just needs more speed to work properly. Let me show you. Take another half stack of cobblestone, put it in there. That launches off. Again, with more speed, that goes all the way to the back. Fills that up. Oh, it didn't launch off because it was too far off. More speed, it would have been right into the back. It comes over here. Okay? And then once you're done doing whatever you're doing over here, you can just hit that button, and it switches that. So again, it's simple enough, but it's drawn out. You just need enough speed to get back to this block. If the minecart doesn't have enough speed, then nothing works. This one was for that. I was trying to take one stack of items and break it up into more stacks, which you can do with hopus. There was some crazy hopu logic that I don't understand that you can use to break items into stacks that are like half of the other stack. And I will describe that again later, but that was for another type of automatic furnace setup, which I have here. Let me show you this setup first. So my setup was you use one of those, and you empty that up, and it comes up here, and this is not finished like that one is. It's not the same thing. This was a primitive version of the last one. It comes up here, it empties, and you have a minecart with hopper in there, and in there, and in there, and in there. And what happens is you have one of these, okay? You have the hopper, and you minecart. Okay, well, there would be a normal track right there, and it would bounce back and forth. And every time it'd go by this hopper, would pick up one block, drop the block off. Pick up another block, drop it off. Pick up another one, drop it off. And out of your one stack of items, you would have 32 and 32. So I decided to take that and break it up, and you get 16, 16, 16, and 16. And then you break that up, and you do this setup all the way down until you have stacks of, I believe I had, like, 16 or 4. I think I did it down to 8. I think I had it down to 8. And then, what I'm trying to say is it broke down into each of these hoppers, into each of these furnaces, and then the furnaces came down, and everything collected right here. It never worked. It was way loud, and it's huge. And that was a big problem for me. I wanted to have an automatic furnace setup. And there is a way to do this, but it has a lot more hoppers, and I think it's actually less complicated than this. This is way complicated. But it's an automatic furnace setup that I was able to make myself. Again, it's way too complicated, but it works out. So how this works is you have one of those guys right here, okay? It's less so. You have, you know what, let me run it first. You need 4 stacks. And then once there was 4 stacks in that hopper, that minecart chest comes over here. It's almost done. That comes over, picks everything up. I'm just speeding this along. Okay, it picks everything up. Once everything is picked up, it goes off and does loops. Okay, now then once that's been going long enough that 1.5 stacks of items have come out of these furnaces altogether, then this stops going and it returns back here. This is finicky though, like, I'm actually gonna stop this. You can change it depending on how many furnaces you have. This is 4 furnaces just because it fits and it's small, but you can do 8, you can do 16, you can do however many furnaces, and then this would change depending, but that just comes down here and it does that. That's complicated. First of all, you have that setup where it stops this, it unloads everything. Okay, but it also, this here, once there was 4 items in here, once 4 stacks is right here. This means 4 stacks. This far, I believe it's 12. That comes through to here, over to here, powers this. Okay, now that is this, which is, I don't even want to explain it because it's complicated. I will try. Okay, this is still on because there's items in here, okay? That goes through, yes. So that powers this piston. This piston comes out. Okay, that makes this unable to go through. This line is this line, which means there was 4 stacks of items. Once there is no items, okay, no items at all, or for that matter, not 12 stacks. 12. Oh my gosh, that's 12. 4. Then this can go through, and that will unpower. No, that will. Must be invoked. No, that will power this, which will power that, which will close this. Okay, which then will also call this guy, which never got reset. Let me reset that. Okay, that gets reset. Right, it'll call him, and then he'll come over and he'll get filled up, and then once there's none, this will go down, letting the signal go through here, into here, pushing this out, making all of this unable to happen, launching everything back off. It's overly complicated. You can see it has, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, has 4 or 5 piston gates in there. It's not fun to build. This one is pretty not fun to build. That one isn't at all. But the rest of them are pretty simple. Like I said, you can change this one to be 4 stacks, 5 stacks, 1 stack. I have it set to 4, just because, you're not going to be sending through, one piece at a time, because that'd be obnoxious. So if you're sending through multiple loads, once this hits 4, then it will begin. And then if this is more furnaces, you can change this from being 1.5 to maybe 1 stack, or half a stack even, depending. You see, this is set to 2 right here. That 2, you need 2 stacks of items. So I have 1 stack of unique items that will not, get all tangled up with and stack or whatever. And then once you have the equivalent of 2 stacks, that powers up. If that's not 2 stacks, however, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that's not 2 stacks, it doesn't go through. It has a little grace period. Yeah, you see, but right there, and then you add 1 more. Once it hits 60, so that's fine. See, but it needs to hit a certain amount of blocks before it sends that off, and it ends up being about 4 left. So there's just a couple items left in here, and that's fine, because you can set this differently. You would have to fiddle with it. But those are my little redstone creations that I built. If you want any of them explained in more detail, you can either, 1, ask me, and I will do a full tutorial on it, or you can pause the video. I'm going to go over some of these so that you maybe can, see what's going on, and you can just pause the video and build it. Right, like I said, all of this, like this, it would be better if this was up in the air, because it would have more speed coming down. It doesn't work amazingly, so like I said, this would need more speed. But either way, it's still, it gets everything accomplished. So I'm just gonna kind of run over these. This one, I don't even want to mess with. Like I said, this one is really easy. This hopper is pointing into this one. It's pretty simple. This one, though, there's too much to it, you know what I mean? I would have to do a full explanation on that and probably build it, and I'd probably get aggravated with it. Because the one before this, I had this, that minecart running all the time, and just whenever it had to be filled up, it would stop, get filled up, and then keep going. So I wanted to change that to where it was sitting, and then it went, and then it stopped. So you don't always have the hopper on track sound, because that sound is really loud too. I have a video on this. It is Lighthouse Redstone RFT, which is Redstone for Certificates. That series is still around, just in a different form, I suppose. That's what I'm going to state this one as. Is Redstone for Certificates. Like I said, this one is really finicky. You need speed. This was created for an automatic furnace setup. I would have a hopper underneath this block, and then a furnace underneath the hopper, and then the furnace would empty into a hopper that is in place of that cobblestone underneath the furnace. And then it would go, and you'd hit a button, and it'd go automatically, and there was always 3 minecarts in the system, and it worked well, you know what I mean? It worked fine. The problem was, you put through, a couple of stacks of items, and there was one furnace that would, deal with that one stack of items. Now, I could also refine on this setup, even though it's huge, you could refine on it by taking, a comparator off of here and seeing whenever there's items in there, and then that minecart starts running, and it'd be more complicated, but it'd be doable. But until next time, he's keeping guard over the factories. I'll be here next time. Of course, the Let's Build. I don't know. Like, I'll start it and then I'll really get into it and then I'll just stop. So I don't know. I couldn't tell you. This, I was gonna hook some stuff up and make a fully automatic one. I was gonna hook that to that, even though I built this one before I had that built. But I never did. So I keep all my actual prototypes in this little square. And if you could tell me even more, if there's something here that you've never seen on YouTube before that you think may be a first. Do you know, like a first ever on YouTube? Which I would doubt. But if you see it and you think it's a first ever, tell me about it so I can make an actual video about it and kind of patent it, and then I can name it, which would be cool, but it probably already has a name. And they've probably all been done, but if you see one that hasn't been done yet, tell me about it. So, thanks for watching. I hope this video wasn't too long. I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Try to put out a video once a week. This time, now it's been once every 2 weeks or so. Also, happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas. If I don't speak to you by then, I assume I'll speak to you by then. But if I don't, it's okay. I am pretty busy with school. Stuff is going down, but tomorrow I have a half day. So as a half day tomorrow, if I can, I might put out another video, or for that matter, record it and upload it at a later date. But thanks for watching. Have a good day. Have a good Thanksgiving. Have a good Christmas if I don't talk to you by then. I said that twice. Repetitiveness for the win. Goodbye, y'all.